Hello, everyone, and welcome to Brain versus Death Bias Scheme. So, well, this is me. I'm Daniel Espino. I am software design engineer at Mattermost. And you may think why this developer is coming here to tell me about cognitive biases. Well, I am something more than a developer. I am a fourth-year degree a student of the psychology degree in the UNED. Well, the thing is that I was studying psychology because, well, people have hobbies. Mine is that. And I was studying psychology, and many things just felt so relatable. Many things were just like, hey, I've lived this before. And yeah, I just wanted to share a bit how these things happen. So this is what we are going to talk about today. A bit of everything. But before we start, I am a psychology student. So don't take any of what I say as health advice. I'm just going to tell you a few things I've learned. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Also, I'm going to make you raise your hands a lot, so let's make a test. Raise your hand if you can raise your hand. Nice, nice. So actually, fun fact, when you raise your hand, that creates blood flow that improves the way your attention and the way you learn stuff, so also have double purpose. So yeah, cool. And another thing, you may have gone to other biases talks, and doesn't matter. You can go to plenty of biases talk and keep learning stuff because those are all the biases that are. So it's impossible that in half an hour talk, you get to learn all about that. So, okay, let's start. What is a bias? So raise your hand if you think that biases, prejudice, stereotypes, if those things are bad. Okay, okay. So now imagine you are in a forest. You are just walking around, and these things appear. Raise your hand if you will run away the other direction. And now raise your hand if you wouldn't run, because either way it's going to catch you. Okay, perfect. So can anyone tell me why? Someone brave that can tell me why they will run away from this? Danger, danger. So you are saying that you have you are prejudging this bear, and you are thinking that it is dangerous when you don't know anything about this bird. You don't know its history. You don't know anything about him. I mean, okay, you are look at the face. You are having a prejudice on his looks. So just at his looks, you are saying, okay, this guy is dangerous. That is prejudice. That is bias. You are making a fast decision based on previous information, based on heuristics, and sometimes it's good because, yeah, this bear could be there just showing you his teeth because he's really proud of his teeth, and you are missing a really wholesome friendship with a bear, but the alternative is that you die. So you have to take a quick decision, and the quick decision is to run away. But yeah, in that case, having a bias is good because you are able to make a really quick decision. So biases is our brain taking shortcuts. Sometimes the brain takes shortcuts because you need to take a fast decision, like when you see a bear in the forest. Sometimes your brain takes a shortcut because it's lazy. I mean, why I have to spend more energy into this when I can take a fast decision that is probably right. I may fail, but the failure is not so important. So this is how our brain works, and usually it's helpful, but sometimes it's not that helpful, and it starts fighting against us and making us taking bad decisions. until the point of fatality. So what are we going to do today? Well, as in any fighting game, when you want to defeat an opponent, you have to know their moveset. So that's what we are going to do here. We are going to learn the moveset of our brain, the different biases he's using against us, to at least know what to expect. By the way, all the images are done by AI, so you can see it here because AI cannot write words, simple words, for whatever reason. But yeah, just that. By the way, what I said before about the raising your arm and the blood flow, everyone that believes that, raise your hand, please. Oh, you believe that? Okay, perfect. I mean, I was expecting more hands raised. Yeah, I made that up. I was expecting more hands raised, so I can say, well, that's another bias, another prejudice. Like, I am here telling you stuff, so you expect that to be true. And you don't think much beyond that. Because your brain says, why am I going to put more effort into that when this guy is supposed to know what he's talking about? Well, biases. So let's start with the first one, the false consensus. So imagine that something simple, like you like 4 spaces for indenting code. And of course, you are with a group of people, your friends, your team, your colleagues, and yeah, all of them like 4 spaces. But this guy, the weird one, like using the tab. So looking at this, you will say that everyone likes 4 spaces, right? Raise your hand if you will say that everyone likes 4 spaces. Yeah, I mean, it's an obvious reaction, an obvious thing, but the reality is that you don't know what happens beyond this. And beyond this could be like this, like everyone likes 1 tab. I know this is not real, but this could be like this. So many times we make a consensus. We think that everyone likes something or everyone thinks something because the people we know, the people that we have near, think that way. And yeah, it makes sense because, for example, if that's the information you have, you cannot work with information you don't have. And also for self-esteem, you want to belong to a bigger group. So you want to believe that what you like and the people around you like is what everyone likes. And that makes sense, but many times when we make decisions, sometimes we say, no, yeah, well, let's use AI because everyone is using AI. Let's use blockchain because everyone is using blockchain. Let's use whatever because everyone is doing that. For starters, everyone is doing that is never a good option. But it's not only that it's not a good option, that you are probably wrong because you are working with a really short amount of data. And also, okay, for example, I could ask here, who likes open source here? Everyone will raise their hand because that's the point of this conference. Then I could say, okay, everyone here loves open source, so probably everyone loves open source. No, everyone here loves open source because it's the group of people we are meeting here like open source. And the people that is here probably goes to other open source conferences where they meet a lot of open source people, and they could even think that everyone loves open source. But you have to look beyond that, because probably you are always moving in the same circles. Okay, next one, pluralistic ignorance. This is similar. Let's imagine that we are in a group and everyone loves PHP. Because people love PHP, some people do. Now, the thing is that you, in your heart, you love Java, but you belong to this group. So when you're having a conversation with someone else in the group, you will say, no, PHP is the best. I'm not going to say I love Java because these people love PHP and I want to belong to the group. So you say, okay, I will say that I love PHP. What you don't know, and sometimes happens, is that this other person you are talking with is doing exactly the same as you. They love Java, but in order to belong to the group, they just keep talking PHP. And when you look at that, suddenly the whole group looks like this. There's a couple of guys that are really loud, that love PHP, and the rest love something different. So sometimes we don't speak up, don't speak our mind, just to belong to the group or not being that annoying guy that loves something different. And when we do that, we may be not seeing what the group really likes, what the group really thinks. Okay, liking PHP or Java is not a big decision, but when you are taking decisions in a group, in a work group, and saying, okay, I'm not going to say that this is wrong because everyone thinks it's right, maybe everyone is thinking like you. So just speak up. Speak up, raise your voice, and see what happens. Now the bystander effect. This one is great. This is the summary. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. I'm not going to look at it. So imagine that you are, okay, you are working on your task, and you find a bug. Raise your hand if you will fix it. Yeah, okay, you will fix it, but the bug is not in, no, it's not in your code. It's somewhere else. You haven't touched that. You just find it there. You will still fix it. Okay, but you have a deadline. You have to deliver what you are doing now, and yeah, it will take time fixing that bug. Will you fix it? And actually, that bug is on someone else's turf. Like, it's responsibility of other team. So, will you still fix it? Man, I would love you in my team. So, yeah, that's the bystander effect. There's many things that are happening in your brain in a moment that at the end you will say, okay, it's not my problem. It's not worth it for me to spend into this. So what is happening behind that? The first of all is, do you really see the issue? If you don't see the issue, if you don't see the bug, you cannot fix it. That's it. But the next one is, do you really think it's an issue? Because you see a bug, and you say, okay, maybe this was intended, so I don't know, so I'm not going to say anything because maybe they wanted it that way. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Then it's my responsibility. It's like, I didn't break it, so why should I fix it? Or it's in someone else's code. Why will I get into that? I don't want to be yelled at because I touched someone else's code, so I won't say anything. Then I am able to do something about it. I mean, it's a code I don't know, and don't know that much. Maybe I enter there and introduce more bugs. Well, maybe you don't have to fix the bug, but at least you could report it. I mean, create a ticket or something, do something about it. But yeah, sometimes we don't feel we can do anything about that. So if we are not able to do that, then we just step away and let other one take the responsibility. And finally, is it worth it for me? Is it worth it to stop what I'm doing, what my performance KPIs is measured on, to just fix a bug that nobody is going to notice that I fixed? It's worth it for me? So yeah, the bystander effect is horrible. It's horrible because all these things I'm telling you happen like really fast on your brain, and you suddenly see a bug, don't do anything about it. Months later, someone comes and say, hey, I found this. And suddenly everyone in the team knew about the bug. Nobody did nothing because it wasn't their responsibility. Then who was it? So yeah, it is quite complicated. But well, let's go to the next one. Group polarization. So imagine you have a team and they have to take a decision about taking a new client. So there's a group of the people of the team that say, yeah, this is a great opportunity, a lot of money coming in, it's a really interesting project. But there's a few guys that don't like that idea because, well, maybe it's not the most ethical client. You are not sure they are actually comply with things. Probably they are going to ask you this now, and they will ask more later, and they want it for the same money. So yeah, there's these two guys that are a pain in the ass. They are, not so happy with the idea. So they get into a meeting. They get into a meeting to discuss this decision. So before the meeting, the group is mostly towards agreeing to take this, right? Because there are more people in that side of the, no, in that side. But well, so my question here is, who thinks that after the meeting, these people will put together their thoughts and be more together, more like this? Raise your hand if you think that is what will happen. Okay, nobody raised hands. Then what do you think if these people are going to just argue, and at the end of the meeting, they will be these people more that way and these people more that way? Raise your hand if you think that will happen. Most of the people think that will happen. People don't agree. People just argue to each other. Actually, what happens is really interesting. Everyone moves in the same direction. It's not that these guys suddenly agree. It's just that these guys don't disagree so much as they disagree before. Well, there's explanations for this. For example, if you are only two guys in a meeting of 10 people that disagree, the time speaking about why people agree is more. So you kind of can get brainwashed. But yeah, I mean, there are many explanations about why this could happen. But yeah, so some people may ask, then why do we make the meeting at all if we know the result? Well, that's the thing about biases. If we know the expected result, we can try to put strategies for that not to happen so often. Or, if we know this is the result, we can exploit it. We can make these people go in that direction. So yeah, it's depending on how you want to do things. Next one, I think I'm going too fast, but well, either way, is the Einstellung effect. So what is the Einstellung effect? Have you ever heard this saying that goes by, for someone with a hammer, everything is a nail? So it goes in that direction. So, okay, you want to solve one problem. So you have to make a while loop to solve that problem and put a break in the middle, because that's how you can solve this problem. So you have a similar problem, and you put a while loop and a break in the middle, because that worked the first time, and it works the second one. And you have a similar problem, and you do it again, and it works. But the problem with developing computer science and the work we do is that we don't need a solution that works. Many times we need a solution that works and is performant. So having the same solution for similar problems may be a solution, but may not be a performance solution. But the Einstein effect, what says is that the first thing you are going to try is what you already know that works. And the moment that works, you are not going to think about any other possible solution. It's similar to another thing that is called the functional fixation. When you know how to solve one problem in one way, and the moment you cannot solve the problem that way, you don't know how to solve it. But well, that one is really easy to solve because we just use the rubber duck, we tell the story, and then we think about a different solution. But this one is more complicated because we don't realize that there's a better solution. So yeah, when you find yourself just repeating over and over the same solution for different things, take a step back and say, hey, I am just repeating the same pattern and there's one better, or this is really what I want to do. And okay, the last one, groupthink. This is the perfect storm. So why, when you have a team of intelligent people, smart people, sometimes they make really stupid decisions? This is groupthink. So it all starts with illusion of invulnerability. So imagine you have this startup, the best of the best are in this startup. The CEO has created a stars team there. So someone, and they have this project that is going to be the new LLM that is going to defeat them all. And there's this guy that says, hey, but are we sure that we can do this? And the CEO says, of course we are sure we can do this. I mean, you have seen our team, we are the best. Nothing can go wrong. So yeah, that illusion of invulnerability is a problem. But it doesn't stop there. Then you have the unquestioned belief in the morality of the group. So the AI, this AI startup that says, yeah, but we don't have the data. We don't have the data to train our LLM. Yeah, well, we have this customer that we can take their data. Yeah, but that's not even legal. What's not legal is what they were paying us. We are doing the right thing, and this is going to improve everyone's life. And well, if they don't catch us, I mean, we are not doing anything wrong. So yeah, you start to believe that you are the good guys. And the good guys can do things. So next one is the collective rationalization, because then this meeting, this startup, there's this guy that says, okay, but let's imagine that, yeah, we can train with that data, but still, I don't get how we can do it in the time we have said we are going to do it. And then everyone starts saying, no, yeah, but look, this is this way, and this is that way. And many people are trying to convince you because there's this kind of hive mind working on there. And between everyone is trying to rationalize why things work. So what can you do about 7 people telling you that you are wrong and they are right? Then it's a stereotype view of the opponent. Because, well, there's this marketing guy in the team that says, yeah, but, okay, we are fighting against OpenAI, we are fighting against Google, we are fighting against a lot of people that have more resources than us. So how are we going to fight against that? Nah, but they don't know what they are doing. They are so high up. They are just suits at this point. They don't know even how to develop these things. We are pure developers. We know what people need. So yeah, suddenly the opponent is really stereotyped. They are worse. They are evil. They are stupid, and we are the smart ones. So next one, self-censorship. So yeah, one of the new developers also don't see how this is going to be possible, but he's looking at that and say, okay, but with all these smart people saying that it's possible, why should I raise my voice? Why should I say anything? Because probably I'm, with all these smart people, probably I'm the stupid one. So I will just shut up and see how this goes. Next one, direct pressure on dissidents, because there's this guy that speaks up and says, no, this is impossible. And it's like, you are always the same. Why are you being such a downer? I mean, come on. So there's actual pressure on people that is saying something different, which also makes more self-censorship. Because if I say something, either 20 guys are going to tell me that I'm wrong, or they are just going to directly attack me, I will just shut up. So that creates an illusion of unanimity. I mean, if people is shutting up, nobody says anything against it, well, that means that everyone agrees, right? So you have this illusion of unanimity. And finally, here comes the mind guards. The mind guards are usually self-appointed, and it's people that then you go out of the meeting and you go to talk to this person and you say, I still don't see it. I don't see it. And this person starts like, yeah, but you know, why the decision is taken? Why would you just now what we have to do is just work harder and try to make this work? Because yeah, the decision is taken, and these guys just try to keep things the way they are, and which improve, again, the self-censorship. So this is more or less the process that happens when a group of smart people make really stupid decisions. So probably you guys, as a developer, are in this kind of meetings, in this kind of companies, that suddenly you know they are smart people. You know that they are people that, at least on their field, know what they are doing. But even in that case, raise your voice. Try to make sure that things are make sense. That things make sense. And yeah, that's it. I think I went faster than I should. I have my time. Well, either way, then we have more time for questions. So yeah, thank you. That's mostly it. The idea of this talk is mainly so you know how your brain tries to get you in that poor state. I mean, I don't know if, yeah, you can see that it's in a poor state, the brain there. Your brain's fighting with you, trying to take shortcuts, and sometimes you have to just stop it and say, hey, let's just take a step back. Let's see why I am taking these shortcuts, and see if I actually can take them. And well, that's it. Thank you very much. Is there any question? Raise your hand if you have questions. Go ahead.
So we know we have biases. We know there's hundreds of biases. How can we fight against those biases? Studying them or?
Yeah, how can we fight biases if there's so many? Why do you want to fight biases? That's the thing. We have biases for a reason. As I was saying, when you see a bear in the forest, you have to run fast. You cannot think about, hey, is this bear coming friendly? No, you want to get out of there. So the thing is about knowing them, like we did in this talk, knowing about how they can affect you. So when you are in a more important context, in a context where it is important to think things and not to act fast, you can say, okay, I have a solution in my head now. That solution, did I arrive to that through a shortcut? Or it's based on fact? So I will say that's the important thing, to know yourself better, to know your biases better, to be able to detect that. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, there's many things that you are going to have a bias and you don't care and you don't mind. I mean, when you are seeing a movie and you see a guy say, oh, this is the bad guy, it's actually good having a bias. So, yeah, it's more about, hey, I'm going to hire someone. Why I'm saying not to this guy is because I really believe he's not good enough for the job? Or is it because I didn't like what he said during the interview that had nothing to do with his ability to do the job? So it's about that. It's about identifying what context is important and identifying how your brain may be able to take shortcuts there. Any other question?
So the most time, I think, the most time is the problem with the, you can feel in your company
Hmm.
because you are no, or you don't like take the responsibility or you don't feel good with the your colleague or sometimes you say, okay, I don't care because I don't feel good in this company.
Hmm.
Or I think it's no, it's like that. It's no, I'm not happy here because of too much time with this problem or in this situation. And sometimes you say, okay, I wash my hand, that's it. It's not a problem.
So yeah, what you're saying is that when you don't when for example when you don't like what you're working on, you care less, so you start, let's say, doing less or doing just enough or stuff like that. So what I will ask you there is, if you don't like a situation, what should you do?
Yeah, sometimes take a break or just go.
No, I mean, when you don't like something, what you should do is something about it. So that something about it has many shapes, in the sense of, one thing you can do is, if I don't like the company I work on, I can just move to a different company. If I don't like the company I work on, I could talk with my supervisor to try to change how things work. If I don't like my coworker, I can directly talk with him. Or yeah, or I could say, no, I'm not going to talk with him, I'm just going to move somewhere else. The thing is that you should do something about it, but trying to tie that up with biases at the same time is like, hey, whatever is getting you into that state is because your brain is taking shortcuts. Your brain is saying, hey, yeah, my boss is stupid because he told me to do this. And your brain is taking a shortcut, or you are really thinking about why your boss is telling you to do that or something like that. And that's actually stupid. And you say, yeah. So yeah, it's a bit about trying to make you are the only one that can make your world better.
But you think is the on the company side the problem or is in your side the problem? Because the company can do any solution for that issue or
Hmm.
because it's a strange, no?
It's
Because it's in both way. You
yeah.
just all time or you
Hmm.
feel it's your problem
Yeah.
in
I
the
mean,
company or the company can do something like
yeah.
on the your boss or your
Hmm.
senior.
Yeah. So the problem is your problem or company's problem. From my perspective, and I say it again, I am a fourth-year student of psychology. Don't take anything that I say as mental health advice. But you cannot change how your company behaves apart of from your own actions. So what you can really change, the thing that you have completely in your hand, is what you do. So it's not that the problem is on your side, but the potential of solution is on your side. So you are the one that should make a choice, should make an action. That action can be just complain to your boss. That action can be move to a different company. That action can be skip your boss, talk directly with the CEO and say, hey, this is happening. Is this reaching you? Because if not, the middle management is wrong here. So there are many things that you can do, and of course, those things have consequences. Maybe you skip your boss, you go directly to the CEO, and the next day, you are out of the door. But at the end of the day, it's the only way you can change the world is not by waiting for it to change. It's by actually doing something. So yeah, the problem is on your side. Doesn't matter where is the problem. The thing is that the solution is in your hands. Any other question? No? Okay, then it was fast. Sorry for it being so fast. The next time I will put 10 more. Yeah, have a great day.